Leisure Lanes, 3440 Columbia Avenue by Lancaster Dodge, 1475 Manheim Pike by Hearst Sports Apparel at Franklin and Clay Street, by Davis Oil Company, that's GW Davis Oil at 1360 Manheim Pike, by Gers Amico, North Franklin Street across from McCaskey, and by Schwanger Brothers Oil Company at 500 West Roseville Road. I am Bill Arnold, and Jim Doherty is with us to call the color. You are looking at the officials for tonight's game. Allentown's Frank Scagoletti and Wilkes-Barre's Frank Majonic. And we hope that you are sitting back and ready to enjoy what should be a barn burner. Jim Doherty. Millersville now ranked second in the nation, and the tough Bloomsburg Huskies, the last team to beat the Marauders about 2 weeks ago.
Exactly right, Bill. It should be a very competitive game. The Huskies beat the Marauders 60-55 on February 7th up in Bloomsburg. However, on that particular night, the Marauders shot just 29%. Perhaps they were riding the crest at that time. Coach John Cochan said that was a wake-up call, and they've been rolling ever since. Going for the visiting Huskies will be Bill Conley, 41 at the forward, Alex Nelcha, 35 at center, Dave Carpenter, 34 at forward, John Williams, 21 at guard, 12 at guard, 21 Joe Stepanski at guard.
We'll tell you about the Marauder players, but obviously we are underway, and that was John Fox, the talented Millersville senior, missing a turnaround on the baseline. The last time these two teams played, the Marauders shot only 29%. Here at Fusillo, they are averaging 95 points per game. That, though, was John Williams, the freshman, who cans from 18, and the Huskies draw first blood, and they lead 2-0. The Marauders will be starting, Jim, a familiar five: Bobby Bradfield from Altoona and Andrew Dollar Marshall at guard, one of the senior co-captains. John Fox, we've already mentioned at center. Amos Clay and Claude Hughes, the two junior forwards. Clay, the PSAC Player of the Week a week ago for his play here at Millersville.
Bloomsburg in a tight man-to-man defense. They do come and get it right in your face. Turnover on the part of Marshall. Bloom on the run. That's Conley, and he misses a three-point attempt.
Conley, only a sophomore, is their leading scorer, and you will hear a lot about him. I think the key word in tonight's game, Jim, as we were underway in a hurry and we really haven't had an opportunity to catch our breath, and that's what we want to do now. The key word in the game is tempo. If the Huskies control the tempo, Millersville is going to have a long night. If the Marauders can run, look out Bloomsburg.
Millersville does like to run. They have a slight height advantage here with Big John Fox. Andrew Marshall. He's the white and gold paper streamers all over the floor, and we'll be in a slight pause here until that gets picked up. This is a regular occurrence at Millersville, a la the Big Five in Philadelphia. When that first shot goes through, the paper comes out of the stand. Millersville out front with a 3-2 lead at this point. Bill gave you the starting lineup for the Marauders. Marauders are 24-3 over the season. They're 13-1 in the PSAC conference. They are 52-5 here at home at Fusillo Gym over the past 4 years. We had an opportunity before the game to talk with some of the Bloomsburg people. They feel if this gets into a running game, in other words, if Millersville can set the tempo, Bloomsburg is going to be blown out of the gym. However, if Bloomsburg can control the tempo of the game, vis-a-vis their defense and rebounding, they can make a game of it, and they can play right with Millersville, but they have nothing but the utmost respect for John Cochan and his Marauders.
Joe Stepanski, number 12, is the point guard for the Huskies. There he is with the basketball. Marshall's on him. This is Williams. He leans in, throws up an air ball, and there's Fox with the offensive rebound. Bradfield wants to run. Of course, the Marauders always run or one. Here's Marshall again. He's 2 for 2 from three-point range.
Dollar Marshall is paying off big dividends here.
6-2 Marauders behind Marshall's 2 3-pointers. We have yet to play 2 minutes. This is Alex Nelcha, only a sophomore. And you may notice that the Bloomsburg Huskies start all underclassmen, 2 freshmen, 2 sophomores, and a junior.
Millersville, Millersville still on a man-to-man offense. A tight one. We're going to get a foul call against Bill Conley charging across the lane.
Well, Conley must have thrown an elbow, Jim, because Fox blocked the shot and appeared, if anything, to be called for a foul with the body, but the foul went on Conley. He must have used that off arm, his right arm, in the case of being left-handed, to give himself some room. It's 6-2 Marauders, and the Huskies can ill afford to fall behind big early. Here's Clay posting. Did they strip it from him? No, Fox gets it back.
Did they strip it from him? Yes.
They finally do take it away, and that is the second Marauder turnover. 6-2 Millersville. Here is John Williams, who has the lone Husky bucket. Into Conley. Notice who's got Conley. Jim, Claude Hughes, Mr. Defense.
Mr. Quick.
Uh-oh, here's Bradfield. Bingo!
Bradfield stuffed. The Marauders jumped up by 6. Excellent outlet pass, virtually the length of the court, coming off the good defensive rebound by Millersville.
Bobby Bradfield, only 6'1", and he jams it in. A real leaper. Here is Nelcha, who quiets the crowd with an 18-footer. Alex Nelcha makes it 8-4 Marauders. And now a bit of a timeout as Marshall ties his shoe back near midcourt.
Nelcha, 6'6" sophomore, not being able to get too much freedom inside, stepped out for the jumper that time.
The Huskies stay in that man-to-man. In the first game between these two teams, Millersville, as we said, shot 29%. It was also their lowest point total of the year. Here's Marshall again. And again he hits.
Marshall with a very quick 9 points here in the early going. Just 16 and a half minutes still to play in the first half.
He had this kind of game against Cheney the first time as Nelcha hits again, and Amos Clay will be called for the first team foul of the ball game. I was starting to say Marshall had a big game, Jim, at Cheney about 6 weeks ago when the Marauders beat the Wolves. Marshall had a career-high 34 and a ton of three-pointers.
Yeah, I think he got something like 27 points in three-point shots down there. Foul shot missed by Nelcha. Seville on the run.
11-6 Millersville behind Marshall. Here's Fox down low, and that's tough. Fox only needs 6 points tonight to pass Johnny Parker. All-time Millersville scoring list. Conley, and there's a whistle. And Claude Hughes called for the foul. First on Hughes.
Conley is the Huskies scoring leader. He averages 16 and a half points per game. He'll be going to the line shooting 2 on Hughes' foul shot. Conley just a sophomore. 2 sophomores, 2 freshmen, and a junior who is playing his first year with the club, transferring in from Luzerne Community College. That's Stefanski.
Here's Conley, who averages 16 and a half points per game. As we said, the leading Husky scorer, number 41, a 6'4" sophomore. He's 1 out of 2. Look at that hustle by Williams. And Bradfield ties him up. Who's got it? Bloom. Good hustle by Williams, and it's earned by Bradfield. But Bloom gets the basketball. They're down by 6. We've been talking a lot about tempo. Another observation made to us before the game was that this game gets into the 70s for Millersville. The Husky people feel that it's Katie bar the door as a jumper is canned by Dave Carpenter. And let's make a quick observation. Millersville happens to average 95 points a game here on Castillo Hardwood.
But Bloomsburg doesn't want to let them get into the 70s where they feel their chances are very slim of pulling this out.
Nice
Hughes
pass.
comes open.
He was fouled, but that was a good foul as Conley comes over. Good in that Hughes had a layup, but not so good in that is Conley's second already.
That's one he had to take. Marshall with an outstanding pass found Hughes alone on the baseline, having screened his man off going through the paint.
Claude Hughes, 6'3" junior, has been virtually sensational for Millersville at both ends of the floor, always brawling. Marauders' opponent's top scorer, and again tonight, he has Conley. Of course, in the game that Cable 22 brought you about a week ago, when the Wolves and the Marauders did battle, Hughes had 30 in that game, so he's doing it at both ends. Here, his first two.
15-9, Millersville. Stefanski controlling.
Millersville with a man-to-man of their own. Nice pass, and Fox knocks it away. Nelcha lost the handle. No, he didn't lose the handle. Official Frank Scagaletta says it was touched by the Marauders.
Good defense over there in the corner for the Marauders.
Double low post. And there's an offensive foul. Yes, sir. Stefanski pushed off as he went to the basket, his first.
Marshall jumped right into his face, and then Stefanski started to drive. Marshall retreated quickly, but still took a pop in the mouth. Going to cost the Huskies a team foul. Millersville with the ball and the lead.
And looking for their first 8-point lead as they deliberate move into the front court. Here's Hughes. Hughes cross court to Andrew Marshall. And he took that little, no, he stepped to the end line. Turnover Marauders, they're for it. No substitutions as yet, but of course it won't be long before we see Tommy Gaines and Troy Daniel into the Marauder lineup. Nelcha with a nice move, and he's open, blocked by Fox. They're running. Marshall.
Marshall scores on the feed from Bradfield. Foul's going to be called on number 12. That's Stefanski. There's a great deal of controversy at this end of the court regarding the shot at the other end of the court, which Fox picked out of the rafters. I'm sure the Bloom people are saying it was goaltending.
Yeah, they're looking at that as a 4-point swing. They lost one at one end, say the Husky fans, and Marshall actually a 5-point swing.
Could
possibly.
well be.
Yeah. Well, here's Marshall. He's got 11 already. And that's where it'll stay as Carpenter, the freshman, rebounds. 17-9, largest Marauder lead right here. Good hand by Tommy Gaines, who slipped in during the time, and Troy Daniel. They're both here.
Troy Daniel guarding Conley.
Good hands again by Gaines. Long jumper Stefanski, good for 3. And the Huskies staying close, down by only 5. By the way, we've talked a lot about Bloomsburg beating Millersville a couple of weeks back. The first time these two teams played here in Jusillo, Millersville won by 12. Whistle and a foul in the backcourt on Daniel.
That's a frustration foul. He made a bad pass that got tipped and turned over to Bloomsburg. Stepped in and tried to recapture the ball. Succeeded only in getting hit with a foul.
Troy Daniel, by now most of you know that story, transferred from Division I Penn State. Had to sit out until this January. But what an acquisition he's been to the Marauders. Another 3-pointer, and this one is in and out. Look at that offensive rebound by Nelcha. He puts it up and in.
Nelcha at 6'6", boxing out very well, controlling the area under the board very well. Score now down to 3, 17-14. Excuse me, Bill.
Nelcha has 6. Marshall again. He's got another one. But it's going to be a foul on Marshall after the basket. For Andrew, his first. Marshall is now, Jim, up to 13 out of Millersville's 19 points to lead the Marauders.
Right, exactly. You know, my compliments to the official on the clear signaling of that play. Immediately he signaled the goal was good, but he was hitting Marshall with the offensive foul. 19-14 Millersville. Conley looking to fire.
Good man-to-man D. And whistle as Stefanski makes a move, and Marshall is called quickly for his second foul. So he's the first Marauder to pick up 2.
Marshall trying to work close to Stefanski's body to prevent that first long step, and he got burned with it that time.
Well, Hughes and Clay were not on the bench very long. They're right back in there for Marshall and Bradfield. That means Daniel and Hughes are the guards. And the versatile Claude Hughes shifts the guard. Long jumper, too long, and I think last touch by the Marauders, but Clay, hustling, saved it. Millersville up by 5. Losing the handle is Hughes, and then a lot of bodies flailing around, but no whistle.
Hughes lost the ball and really checked off a man going for the ball, but didn't get called for it.
Another long baseline shot, but again, the Huskies with the rebound. Carpenter. Williams, too strong, and Fox finally has the defensive rebound. 19-14, Millersville with 12:35 left first half. A lot of basketball to go. We hope you're enjoying it live. The PSAC Eastern Final from Fusillo Gym. Good D by the Huskies. Here's Daniel, though. He'll let that one fly, and it won't go. Rebound, Gaines. Leans back up. Won't go. And Huskies have the rebound.
Ooh. You know, somebody was on the basket that time, Bill, and there was no call on it.
Nelcha, nice move, but he throws up an air ball. Wait a minute, a foul on Tommy Gaines.
There was some contact there.
Tommy Gaines out of Paulsboro, New Jersey, a 6'6" sophomore.
Nelcha on the line, shooting 2.
Bloomsburg is 1 for 6 from three-point land, while Marshall himself is 3 for 3.
Nelcha misses his first foul.
Nelcha, 6. Good-looking sophomore is Alex Nelcha. Out of, believe it or not, Jim, he is out of Caracas, Venezuela, is Nelcha. I'd give you the name of the high school, but I can't pronounce it. 1950.
Hey, at his size, he can go wherever he wants to go.
Clay. Daniel. He's open, and he's short. Daniel now 0 for 2, and if you're a Marauder fan, you don't like to see that. Fox. And they're going to get Daniel a little too aggressive going for that offensive rebound. Or Carpenter. Carpenter, I should say. That's David's first.
Yeah, came flying in from the weak side. Came over the back of John Fox, who had already safely secured the ball away. 5 team fouls for Bloomsburg.
Millersville's in a ball game. It's 19-15. The Huskies by only 4, trailing, that is, by only 4. Gaines lobs to Clay, low post. Doing a good job. Yeah, doubling on Clay when he gets it down there. Here's Daniel again. Look at that, hanging in the air.
We saw Daniel do that last week against Shaney, Bill. He just goes in the paint and hangs until all the defenders come back down to earth.
Good D, but Conley tracks it down. Conley was open territory, and he looked like he was out of control, but he banked that in nicely. His first bucket. 21-17 Marauders. Hughes from three-point land. He's got it.
24-17 now, the Marauders.
Well, it's really been the three-point shot that's the difference in the game. Millersville has 4 of them. Here's Nelcha again. He used that opposite hand, but they call Fox. Nelcha was pushing off with that left hand.
He certainly was. He had that left hand planted right between the 1 and the 4 on John Fox's chest. But nonetheless, Fox gets hit with the foul. Coach Cochan doesn't like it a bit, and you can see him talking to the officials.
Well, there's a controversy of some sort, and I'm not sure what it is. Let's keep it right here till we get this resolved. There appeared to be a timeout, but we can't break for a timeout until we find out whether, in fact, there is one. Millersville is back out on the floor, and now they say it's a Husky timeout. Okay, so with 10:36 left in the first half, Bloom has called time. We'll be back right after this.
Chan lecturing his charges. An interesting figure in the scoring for this period of the game. And coming off high school, I keep wanting to refer to the first quarter, which we don't have in college. But Millersville is 4 for 4 in the three-point attempts. That's the shot beyond the 19-foot marker. Marshall's can 3. Hughes has just hit one with a lead of 24-17. Bloomsburg has converted only one three-point attempt. So a very big part of the Millersville offense is a long shot. And here's a very big part of Bloomsburg's offense. Alex Nelcha at the foul line again. He was 1 for 2 in his last trip there.
Speaking of big, James, we have big 7'1" Carlton Thacker, the junior out of Annapolis, Maryland, in for Millersville as Nelcha hits both of them. So now the Marauders with that big front line of Thacker, Clay, and Fox, 7'1", 6'9", and 6'6".
Thacker's trying to get open on the baseline, and it looks like he is, and he puts it down. Great shot. Now with Thacker on one side of the lane and Fox on the other, that has got to spread that double team that they've been putting together on Clay and Fox down under. Daniel reaching around. Number 21, that's Williams for the Huskies.
Jim Millersville's over the limit. So
yeah,
he's 1-and-1 time.
Going to shoot a 1-and-1. Daniel really over-guarding him down there on the baseline, trying to prevent the ball from the back. Too small a man for that.
And Bobby Bradfield has checked back in, giving Troy Daniel a rest with 2 fouls. John Williams, who hit the first bucket of the game, finally gets his 3rd point. Davey Carpenter, who was getting a rest, is back in, giving Conley his first rest. So it's 26-20. We are just about halfway through this opening half.
During that timeout, Bloomsburg has slipped in their big man, Matt Wilson, a 6'10" junior. So now Wilson is in there guarding Thacker. They're a pair of trees over on the far side of the lane.
Here's Fox, low post, and that's an air ball. And Wilson has it.
Amos Clay cutting across and just couldn't get the leverage to put anything on that shot.
There's Nelcha, and that's usually automatic. Boy, when they can get the ball to Alex down there, that's trouble. And Nelcha, Jim, has 11 in the first half.
Nelcha's playing a very powerful game in there. He is leaning on Amos Clay terribly, and it's really taking its toll on Amos. Amos missing at the offensive end, going down to the other end of the court and getting beaten by Nelcha. Now a foul up at this end on John Fox. So Nelcha working on Clay is really having the best of the going thus far.
John Fox now joins teammates Marshall and Daniel in a bit of foul trouble. They all have 2. Stepanski and Conley with 2 for the Huskies. 26-23. Here's Nelcha, who can bring the Huskies to within 1.
Let's face it, Bloomsburg is doing what they've wanted to do. They are controlling the pace of the game. Millersville is not flying down court on that fast break as we've seen them in the past. Nelcha averages just 13 points per game, and I think he's over his average at this point, is he not, Phil?
Well, he's right at it, Jim. There's a turnover. The Huskies can lead. Williams, he's got it.
Fancy scoop shot at the other end, but he beats both Hughes and Bradfield. Bloomsburg leads for just the 2nd time. They scored the opening bucket of the game.
And Bloomsburg, Jim, has switched to a 1-3-1 zone, getting away from their traditional man. Clay with contact, travel. And the 1-3 zone, I think, has surprised the Marauders, and the Huskies have taken the lead and the momentum. Millersville wants to talk this over, and wisely, John Cochan has called a timeout with 8:54 left in the half. The Bloomsburg Huskies are leading 27-26.
Charlie Cronister of the Bloomsburg Huskies, and his charges brought them back a long way thus far in this game. Charlie's been there for 16 years. Bloomsburg has been in the finals of the PSAC playoffs 81, 82, 83, 84. They missed in 85 and 86, and they're here again. Really a tribute to a fine coach with a great tradition up there in Husky country.
You know, they've had 21 winning seasons in a row, and all 16 of them under Coach Cronister. He has brought this young team along. They have won 11 of their last 13 games. Is that backcourt? It is.
Got to be. Came off the hands of the 6'10 Wilson, who came out to help. One of the few turnovers Bloomsburg has committed.
Marshall, three-point shot. He can't get that one to go, but there's Fox.
And he's got Hughes right here in the corner, but he missed him.
All the Marauders now must be patient. There's all kinds of time. Here's their half-court offense. Marshall again leans in, can't get it to go. Hughes, and he's fouled. Millersville hitting the offensive boards, and it pays off.
Hughes, one of the backcourt men, coming in on the weak side to grab a board, and he draws a foul against Dave Carpenter, a 6'5 freshman, and that's Carpenter's second. Over the limit are the Huskies. Hughes will shoot the 1-and-1.
I believe this is, excuse me, I was going to say, I believe this is a two-shot foul, though, Jim, because he was fouled in the act of shooting.
Exactly right.
Hughes is 3 for 3 from the free throw line tonight for Millersville, and Claude with 6. He's got both of them.
DeVille leads 28-27. Conley, the leading scorer, out of the game right at this point with 2 fouls.
There's an offensive foul away from the ball on John Williams, and I just happened to see it. Williams was trying to set a pick. Bradfield tried to fight his way through it, and Williams just grabbed it. So he was called for a foul, his first.
Okay, Conley now coming in for Williams.
And now Claude Hughes will shoot the 1-and-1, where he is 4 for 4. Hey, you've got to keep in the back of your mind, this Husky team, at one point we were told, 6-8 on the year. They have won 13, make that 11 of their last 13 games. This is a young team that's getting better every time they take the floor, and it scares me to think what they're going to be like in years to come.
Yeah, with 2 freshmen and 2 sophomores, they're bound to get better as the season goes by, and years to come. Looks like Charlie Cronister is going to build himself a dynasty. Hughes hits the pair to extend the Ville lead to 3 with 8 minutes to play.
And of course, when you have a veteran coach like Charlie Cronister, it really helps. I'm sure he was patient with these young players, trying to find the right combination, and he's got one that's working now. And there's Dave Carpenter with his second bucket. The Huskies down by only 1 with 7:45 left first half. Bradfield, three-pointer, short. Gaines has it. He's gone back up with it, and he's got it.
Good effort by Tommy Gaines. Took away a very delicate offensive rebound. He had to reach in and over his shoulder to pull that one down, and then got it back up.
Did you notice, Jim, that Millersville's starting to dominate the boards with their bigger front line? They're getting a couple of shots at that offensive bucket.
Well, also, they're committing some of their long bomb by the 6'10 Wilson. Millersville's beginning to commit their backcourt people to the offensive board, Bill. That can make a lot of difference in the rebounding game.
Ooh, dangerous pass and a whistle. Who'd they get? I guess they got Dave Carpenter, and he is the first player in the ball game to pick up his 3rd foul.
Boy, that foul was tough to call because Bradfield and Carpenter both were going for the ball. Now Williams hurriedly comes into the lineup replacing Carpenter. Bradfield will go to the line shooting 1-and-1.
And the Huskies lose even more size. The 6'5" Carpenter has to go to the bench, and the 6'1" Williams comes back in. Bradfield won't get it to go. And Nelcha snatches the rebound. Hey, the Huskies can lead again. They're down by 1, 6:50 left first half. We are live on Cable 22. Hope you're enjoying the action. action from Millersville.
Ward Hughes was working on Conley. Now they switched off to Marshall.
I'll tell you, Wilson is like 20 feet from the basket. Williams leans in. Whistle. Williams, I believe.
Williams hit for climbing up Fox's back. Fox had good position for that board.
Now that's 2 on John Williams. Of course, everybody is way over the limit, so there'll be 1-and-1s the rest of this half. And I think John Fox will travel to the free throw line, where John is having one of those nights again. I don't know if we're bad luck for the 6'9" senior co-captain, but he has only 2 points. And in that game a couple of weeks ago, Jim, John way below his average in that win over Cheney with only 11. Not way below his average, but below it.
Hits one from the foul line. Halfway to the coveted 3rd spot. Millersville career scoring. Hits another one. Bloomsburg's kind of a strange club, Bill. They got this big 6'10" kid playing in under the basket, and just a while ago he came out, popped an 18-footer. Doesn't seem that that's the place where it wanted to be.
Boy, good D by Marshall, but luckily for Bloom, the ball bounces right back to Stepanski. Conley, and he got the roll.
Left-handed off the drag down the left side. Nice shot by Conley.
Hughes, strong, and the Huskies can lead. They're down 34-33. You notice the junior Stepanski, he looks over to Coach Cronister for instructions, and he gets them. Leaning in, that's a whistle.
It's got to be a travel.
Nope, it's a foul on Fox.
Whoa.
His 3rd. And now John Fox is in foul trouble for the Marauders.
And the sad thing is he doesn't know why. That's a perplexed look on his face. Looked like he played good defense. Looked like Wilson shuffled his feet. But he got the call. He'll be at the line with a chance to put the Huskies up.
And of course, Fox will be resting for the remaining 5 minutes and 51 seconds. Amos Clay is back in. The front line is Clay, Gaines, and Hughes. Hey, the big guy doing a nice job for the Huskies off the bench is Matt Wilson out of, let's see, New York State, Pawtucket, New York.
Pretty good touch for a 6'10" man. Wilson averages 7 points per game for the Huskies. And they said that he played very well against Fox in previous meetings between these two.
Well, it's 35-34, the Huskies leading. Here's Marshall. He's cooled off after that torrid beginning. Bradfield from 3, he's got it.
Nice speed from Andrew Marshall. Drove into the foul line on the other side, went up in the air, and spotted Bradfield as he had drawn a lot of company in the key.
37-35, the Marauders with 5:15 left in the half. And Bloom has come to play. They're giving Millersville everything we thought they would. Contact, a miss, no whistle, and a bad pass.
Throwaway by Clay.
And Bobby Bradfield thought for sure that Bloom had lost that one, but the officials say no, and the Huskies will inbound. Joe Stepanski.
A lot of pushing and shoving going on down in that key, Bill. Nelcha, very aggressive pivot man. Now they're going to hit Tommy Gaines. Wilson draws the foul.
Well, the big 6'10" Wilson is using that muscle to back in. Gaines was trying to muscle him back, and he got whistled for his 2nd foul. And now Wilson will go to the line to shoot a pair. Make it 1-and-1. Unofficially, Jim, the Huskies are 11 for 13 from the foul line.
Wilson, I believe, is 3 for 3, is he not?
He is.
Four for 4, score tied at 37. Troy Daniel Bob Bradfield.
Marshall, Clay, and Gaines. So now Marshall switches to a forward at 6'3". Millersville with all kinds of versatility with Marshall and Hughes. Bradfield.
Will try to hit Clay on the baseline.
Good steal by Williams. And now the Huskies will slow it down. I was going to say they want to run, but Williams wisely. Whoop, look at this bomb. A little short. Wilson dribbles it off his foot. He's going to get a shot off anyway, and it won't go. Who's got it? Daniel. The Marauders are running. 5 on 3. Tommy Gaines, no whistle. Daniel, no basket. Rebound.
Oh, my
Wilson.
goodness. Can't imagine they didn't have a call.
Look at Bradfield. He goes 5 rows up, but commits the foul on number 41, Billy Conley, who will go to the line to shoot 2. Bradfield's first.
Great hustle on the part of Bradfield. He stripped Conley, and the official had his arm up before Bradfield even reached Conley. That was going to be a foul, no matter what Bobby did. Hate to sound like a little bit like a homer here, but call it the way I see it.
Well, it's the Huskies free throw shooting. They are now unofficially 13 for 15 from the free throw line, and they lead by 1. And that one rolls out. 13 for 16 and a 1-point lead with 4:05 left in the half. Here's Marshall. And I'll tell you, they swarm on him.
Millersville has to get some movement on offense. They can't stand around in the face of this swarming defense.
This zone has really perplexed the Marauders. They were doing much better against the man. Clay, they need something out of Amos. He's virtually not here offensively. Marshall, long jumper out of his range, and it's no good.
Andrews had the ball clear outside the 19-foot line, dribbled it in, and met some resistance.
It's sometimes very difficult to get it through to young people that defense wins basketball games, but it's winning this one. And there's a bank shot by Williams, who somehow was all alone, only 6 feet from the bucket. The Huskies with their largest lead at 40-37. Mike Simpkins, I should say, is in the lineup. Simpkins. Daniel. And that's a blocking foul. And, oh, that brings Coach Chronister off the bench, and he is livid. He is borderline technical country. I mean, he is livid, and his assistant coaches trying to bring him back down to earth. He did not like that call.
No, and he's not about to go back down to earth either. He wants his say. And he is really letting the crowd back into this game. They've finally found a point to focus upon, insofar as the Huskies have run off a 3-point advantage here. 3 minutes to play in the half.
Here's Troy Daniel.
Hits the first one.
And you know, between Daniel, Clay, and Gaines, they have 5 points between them.
Amos Clay is really playing against some oversized people. He really can't compete in the middle, where he's being forced to play in the stead of John Fox.
Okay, 40-39, the Huskies, with 3 minutes left in the half. And Stepanski, who's been quarterbacking this offense and doing an excellent job, finds the big guy back out front to Conley. He's double-teamed. And Hughes hustles back to Stepanski. Now the Marauders with a sticky man-to-man, but Stepanski gets free. Blocked by Gaines, and then Hughes inadvertently fouls Nelcha on the rebound.
Nelcha picked the ball out clean, and that's not a bad foul, because Nelcha was just about ready to stuff that ball. Hughes just shoved him under the bucket.
I've got Alex Nelcha unofficially at 5 for 6 from the free throw line. Back there again, the 6'6" sophomore out of Caracas, Venezuela.
The Huskies' big people are excellent foul shooters. Nelcha and Wilson. Usually you find it's the backcourt people that will beat you at the foul line.
Between them, they are 10 for 11. It's
really Bloomsburg playing an half here. Controlling Millersville, I'm sure, in the manner in which Coach Charlie Cronister wanted them to. Starting out in the zone now into a very tight, starting out in the man-to-man now into a very tight zone.
Look at that move by Daniel, bringing the crowd back into the game. 42-41 the Huskies with 2:15 left in the half. Steve Melker has checked in for Bloom, and there's a turnover. Bradfield again.
That's the Millersville team. A little turnover.
The crowd is absolutely going wild after those 2 consecutive stuffs, and Millersville up by 1.
Now Simpkins is the point guard, working out to the big man Wilson out beyond the 19-foot line.
Conley, he misses. Here come the Marauders in high gear. Daniel blocked from behind, and Troy hustles to get it back. 43-42 Millersville with 1:25 left in the half. Gaines. Hughes. Here's Clay. They want to get him into the offense, and they can't do it. Rebound
Tommy Gaines
by Wilson.
just got away with running into Wilson on that rebound.
Well, Bloom with good D can again recapture the lead. Melcher misses, and Clay has the rebound slipped through his fingers with 56 seconds left. Millersville up by 1. The Huskies, though, with the basketball. This is Conley. Look at that guy. He's all alone, and Melcher misses the layup. Who's got it? Bradfield. 4-on-2. Bradfield lays it in.
Great move by Bobby Bradfield. Split the 2 defenders. Took it to the hole himself. Good job. Melcher was molested when he took that layup, and fortunately for the Ville, there was no call.
45-42, only 30 seconds left. Let's see if the Huskies won't go for 1, but they throw up a short shot. Bad pass, but Hughes has it. Daniel.
Troy Daniel on the front end, looking like a wide receiver. Stuffs it. 47-42 the Ville, counting down from 10 seconds.
1 shot. The Huskies better hurry. Only 2 left. Simpkins lets it fly, but the buzzer sounds. And you can hear the crowd here at Millersville as Bradfield and Troy Daniel lead a late first half surge. The Marauders leading 47-42. We'll be back with our halftime comments right after this. Activity is underway on the hardwood in front of you. Bill Arnold with Jim Doherty, and we are live on cable channel 22, where the Millersville Marauders, with that late surge, have jumped to their 47-42 lead behind Bobby Bradfield and by Claude Hughes. Hughes coming off, not Hughes so much as Troy Daniel. Daniel coming off the bench with 8 points. Those 2 sensational dunks toward the very end of the first half, along with Bradfield's dunks. Bobby with 9 first half points, and as I said, Daniel with 8. Leading the way for Millersville, and he got them all early. Andrew Marshall with those 3 three-point plays. Andrew is 3 for 4 from three-point land, and Marshall with 13 first half points. 4 for John Fox, and he's in a bit of foul trouble, the 6'9 senior co-captain, with 3 personals, only 4 points. A bucket for Thacker off the bench. 9 for Claude Hughes as he continues his excellent play, and a bucket for Tommy Gaines. Now, on the other side of the ledger, the Huskies getting a great game from their sophomore center, Alex Nelcha. Nelcha with 15 points and a 7 for 8 night at the charity stripe. 8 points for John Williams, 1 three-pointer for Stepanski. Hughes has been on him a lot of the night. Also, Billy Conley has found Hughes hounding him. Consequently, the leading scorer for the Huskies has been held to only 6. 4 for Carpenter and 6 for Matt Wilson. But despite the fact, Jim, that Millersville made that late surge in the first half, they have found themselves in a heck of a tussle here with the Bloomsburg Huskies, who have won 11 of their previous 13 games.
Well, Bloomsburg has played an outstanding defense against Millersville. They faced them up immediately out of the chute with a tight man-to-man. Then they've switched off to a 2-3 zone, and have really put pressure on the Marauders. At the other end of the court, they've brought in a 6'10 Wilson. He has done a great job on the offensive board. Millersville, until the last minute, has not been able to get that rebound, get the outlet pass, and run the way they are accustomed to doing. And even at times when they do have a quasi-fast break going, Bloomsburg has been able to get back and defend against it. And really, I think Bloom is doing almost what they want to do. They've been wanting to control the tempo of the game. I still think a few too many points for the liking of Bloomsburg, but they're getting their share, getting a lot of good activity out of their big people.
Speaking of their big people, I just handed something to him, and not only is Nelcha having a heck of a first half with 15 points, he's the leading rebounder in the game with 6 points. He's having a game tonight similar to the one Clay had a week ago against Cheney.
Exactly right, and his counterpart, Matt Wilson, 6'10", coming off the bench, has 4 rebounds. For Millersville, Fox has 4 and Hughes have 4. Now, Fox plagued by foul problems. Millersville is going to have to find a way to counteract the size of Bloomsburg, something that we really weren't concerned with coming in here, but I'm really impressed with Nelcha at 6'6", Wilson at 6'10", and Conley, their leading scorer, only has but 6 points, but he's not bashful. He is going to keep throwing them up, and if he gets a hot hand, he can really turn it on in the second half for the Huskies.
One of the things Millersville will have to be aware of with that synopsis that Jim Doherty just relayed for us is John Fox. He's the key to the Marauder inside game along with Clay, but Fox is the key, and he has 3 personal fouls. Let me just remind you that if the Marauders win tonight, they will be hosting the PSAC State Championship right here at Millersville on Saturday night. And I understand that Cable TV Associates Channel 22 has made arrangements to be here, telecast that game live. Yours truly, Bill Arnold, and Jim Doherty will be on hand for that game Saturday night, live from Fusillo. But of course, the Marauders must win this hard-fought battle with Bloomsburg first. That game would, by the way, be against the winner of the Lock Haven, California game, which is being played tonight. So the participants in the finals will be known by tomorrow morning. We will be right back after a 90-second break, and we've got a conversation with the Lancaster Intelligencer Journal's Gordy Jones right after this. Cedar Lane's 42 over the Bloomsburg Huskies in the Eastern Finals of the PSAC. And joining me for a couple of minutes of basketball conversation here at halftime is the Lancaster Intel's Gordy Jones. Welcome, Gordy.
Thank you very much, Bill.
You've seen the Marauders more than Jim Doherty and I, as we have pretty much been covering the Lancaster-Lebanon League most of the year for Cable 22. The couple of times I've seen Millersville, it seems that if their running game is held in check, they're in trouble. Now, they are running tonight, and yet they still find themselves in a tussle with Bloom. What are the Huskies doing?
Well, they're slowing them down a lot by walking the ball up, and also playing a lot of zone defenses. And they've jumped out of the zone every now and again into some man-to-man just to give them a different look, just to slow the pace. But in the last 2.5 minutes there, right after Daniel drove the baseline on the zone, which is the way you want to attack the 1-3-1, is to go on the baseline. And after that seemed to just wake everything up, and they got a couple easy hoops out of that, and they got into a good flow.
Obviously, if you're veteran coach Cronister, you're going to continue to do the same thing. It's pretty much worked for you, except for that late flurry, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, I think so. And the other thing they've done is they've really gone to the offensive boards to try to challenge Millersville there, so that Millersville can't get an unmolested rebound and just kick it out and run from there. And that's an important thing that they want to do, too, and certainly something that they did the last time they played when Bloomsburg won 60-55 back on 7.
Jim and I commented that the play of the Huskies front court has been, we felt, outstanding, with Nelcha having a great game and the big kid Wilson coming off the bench and chipping in. Actually, I'll go out on the limb and say that the Huskies' front court is outplaying Millersville right now. Clay seems to be non-existent, and Fox with a bit of foul trouble, not having his kind of game either.
That's true. They probably have been outplaying. Nelka really had a good first half. Carpenter hasn't done a lot yet, mainly because Hughes has been playing him. Hughes usually does a pretty good defensive job against the other teams that score. Of course, Connolly, I'm sorry. Connolly really had a good game on Monday night, but he hasn't really done much yet tonight. But I agree with you. I think that their front court, they have played well for Bloom.
Well, it's really a cardinal mistake to look ahead, but we're just going to take a minute and do that. If the Marauders hang on as they return to the floor here at Fusillo, if they hang on and win this Eastern Final, we were just mentioning that the state championship comes up Saturday between Lock Haven, the winner of Lock Haven, California. Do you know anything about those two schools, and what do you think? I'll put you on the spot, huh?
I know nothing.
I know Lock Haven, with their 21 wins, was expected all along to be the team from the West to join the Marauders in that state playoff. And now I understand that California is getting quite warm. And many are expecting the California team to maybe be here Saturday night.
Well, it kind of probably brings back bad memories for Millersville, because we know California played them in the state games 2 years ago, and California won by a point. And a game that Millersville really kind of let slip away from them in the last 7 minutes or so. They didn't have a field goal in the last 7 minutes. John Fox missed the dunks down at the end, and all kinds of crazy things happened to them then. So I doubt that they want to see him again.
Gordy, thank you very much. I know you want to get back to writing about this game, and we've got to get ready for the second half. Gordy Jones from the Lancaster Intel, we thank you for joining us at halftime. Marauders are back. The Huskies with some lengthy conversation from their coach, Jim Doherty. Charlie Chronister still in the halftime break. We're going to take a final quick pause and be back with some last-second comments before the start of the second half right after this timeout.
Millersville Marauders warming up for second half action. Really not a bad first half offensively for the black and gold. They shot 16 for 30 from the floor, a .533 percentage. They were 5 for 8 on their three-point attempts. On the other side of the ledger for the Huskies, they shot just 13 for 33 from the field, including just 1 for 9 on their three-point attempts. A couple things in my mind which can lead to an interesting second half. We, of course, have not seen Bloomsburg before. They are not bashful. They will shoot the ball. If they should happen to attain a better percentage of their shots from the floor, they could pull away from the Marauders. On the other side of the coin, if the Marauders can stay out of foul trouble and keep their big people on the court, they, in turn, could continuously field their stronger team and really be able to counteract the play of Bloomsburg. Bloomsburg getting an outstanding job out of their big men, a lot of it in the absence of John Fox, who has gotten flagged with 3 early fouls.
You can bet, Jim, that Charlie Chronister pointed out to his team at halftime that they've shot from the floor under 40%, and yet they're right in this ball game, down by only 5, 47-42, against the number 2 ranked Division II team in the country.
That has to be a lot of impetus to be playing a club that good and still be alive here at halftime with the prospects of pulling an upset.
So you can bet with the veteran coach like Chronister, he's got these young kids believing they can win this game. And the Huskies are going to be playing mighty hard here in the second half. Well, for some reason, they've stopped the scoreboard clock. These teams have been out here on the floor for a while, and the clock was ticking down, and they stopped it at 30 seconds. So we're still holding, if you will, here at halftime at Fusillo Gym. Bill Arnold, along with Jim Doherty, live on Cable Channel 22. We hope you've been enjoying these cable telecasts that we've managed to put together live for you from Fusillo. And if so, take a moment and thank our sponsors who helped to make it possible. Leisure Lanes at 3440 Columbia Avenue. Lancaster Dodge at 1475 Manheim Pike. Hearst Sports Apparel at Franklin Street and Clay in Lancaster. Davis Oil Company at 1360 Manheim Pike. Durs Amico at North Franklin Street across from McCaskey, and Schwanger Brothers Oil Company at 500 West Roseville Road.
We are pleased to have you with us on our cable telecast. Of course, you can only fully appreciate the color and the drama of college basketball, Division II style, if you are here. And this is a packed house, and we're certainly happy to be able to bring it to you via cable TV. The game clock still holding on 30 seconds. Everybody's getting plenty of warm-up. I don't know what that holdup is. There appears to be like no attempt to get ready for second half play, Bill.
Well, the officials are here. The teams are here. There's John Cochan and his assistant Tim Trier to the left of your screen. For those of you out in the Conestoga Valley area who may say, gee, I recognize that gray-haired gentleman. That's Tim Trier, Coach Cochan's assistant. Speaking of the officials, we'll remind you that we have a gentleman from Allentown, Frank Scaglietti, and Wilkes-Barre's Frank Majikis, officiating this PSAC Eastern final game tonight. And while we have the time, as the crowd is beginning to get restless and they're getting involved in some waves and so forth now, we'll remind you again that the finals will be played here on Saturday night, and if the Marauders hang on and are involved, Cable 22 will be here. We finalize that tonight live once again to bring you the PSAC State Championship between Millersville and the winner of Lock Haven and California.
Well, that game clock's winding down to the 0 mark right now. I don't know what caused the holdup, but both coaches spoke with the officials and almost simultaneously gave that let's get going signal with the index finger. Get going, we are doing. For the Huskies, they will start Bill Conley, number 41, Matt Wilson, number 40, John Williams, number 21, Joe Stepanski, number 12, and Alex Nelcha, number 35. For the Marauders who are taken out of bounds, it's going to be Hughes and Marshall and Fox and Clay and Bradfield. And we're ready to go. Millersville will control to open the second half.
Remember now, they lead by 5. Fox is back in there. 3 fouls in all. This is Bradfield with Stepanski on him. The Huskies open in that man-to-man, and Jim Gordy-Jones and I talked a great deal about that 1-3-1 zone and the problems it caused. Here's Amos Clay, but the cold night continues, and another rebound for Alex Nelcha.
Good defense for Nelcha. He had the hand in Clay's face.
Marauders in a man-to-man as well. Of course, they usually are. Clay is guarding Nelcha. Stepanski, and now Nelcha, who's about 28 feet from the basket, gives it back to Joe Stepanski, who starts that offense over again. We've played just about a minute. There's only been one shot, that by Amos Clay. It did not go. Second half action in the PSAC Eastern Finals from Millersville. The Marauders up by 5. Here's Nelcha. He misses the dunk. A missed follow-up from only 6 feet away by Conley, and that was not a good omen for the Huskies. Here's Clay at the other end missing.
That's a foul.
But Nelcha commits that foul, his very first of the night.
You know, Nelcha had Fox beaten badly down at this end, Bill, but he went up and tried to dunk it and caught a piece of the close iron, which rolled it over to the other side. Conley then missed. So Fox got away with a lapse on defense that time.
And yet at the other end, Amos Clay with an open layup, missed it even though he was fouled. A big 6'6" kid has to lay that in, and now he's at the foul line trying to make up for it with those free throws. He's got the first one. That's the first point of the night for junior Amos Clay. He's got a pair.
DeVille up by 7 now.
49-42. Marauders. Wilson, the 6'10" center, gets the second half start. So that big front line is in there. Johnny Williams is back. Nice dish off to Wilson. Batted away by Clay. Good D by Amos Clay. Preventing a layup, but they get it right back in there somehow, and Nelcha lays it in.
Sure, they work the corner and the corner back into the key.
49-44, the Marauders by 5. Lob, low post, Fox turns around with a jump hook, won't go, and the Huskies had the rebound slip away. Millersville has it back. Hughes is open, but quickly he isn't. They must swing it. Marshall, no go. Whistle, and Wilson fouls Fox on the rebound.
Fox was coming across this side to gather in that rebound. Looked like he was a yo-yo on a string. He just came back across the lane. He had a hand on him for sure. Millersville now trying to swing around the perimeter and get that three-point shot.
Bad pass. Williams blocked. Matter of fact, goaltending. No foul, though, or is there a foul? Let's wait and see. I believe there is going to be a foul called on Hughes as well as the goaltend. 3 on Hughes. Well, now, wait a minute.
He's shooting too, Bill. I don't believe they allowed the goal, did they?
They didn't. I take that back. I swear he showed a goaltending indication, but apparently not. So take the bucket away and simply send the freshman to the line to shoot 2.
Certainly was a sound foul. There was no argument about that. Saved a point. Whoa.
1 out of 2 for Williams. And it's 49-45, the Marauders by 4. Here's Clay. Dollar. And Hughes. Strong. Look at Fox. Another follow-up. And yet another, but he's fouled. John Fox battling all the way and having a rough night of it under there, but will go to the line.
Yeah, he had 3 shots at that one. On the third one, though, Stepanski stepped in behind, just grabbed him by the arm.
Jim Stepanski, who is the quarterback of the Husky offense, now with 3 personal fouls, and that would be, I think, a difficult loss for Coach Chronister. He has really done a fine job in running Bloomsburg's half-court offense.
Fox misses the first. He'll get another.
Both these shots, both these teams tearing it up from the free throw line. 79% for Bloom, 83% for Millersville.
50-45, 17 and a half minutes yet to play in the second half action.
Conley. He's going to take that one and hit it. Billy Conley now has 8.
Nice fake at a drive down the baseline. Got Hughes turned around.
Conley had a big night in the victory over Kutztown the other night to get them. Play. Fouled. I believe that's Nelcha. And for Alex, his second.
Nice movement without the ball on the part of Amos Clay to come open. He came up in the key and went back down and over to this side where he was able to get the ball without Nelcha directly behind him.
Millersville has yet to convert a field goal in this second half. We've played almost 3 minutes. They are hanging in there at the free throw line. Clay, for one, is 3 for 3 this half alone.
He has found a way to get on the board. He was denied in the first half.
52-47. There's the 5-point lead again. We've played now 3 minutes and 5 seconds into the second half. Wilson, low post, and Fox has to be careful. Wilson bangs it in.
Wilson on a feed from Nelcha. Nelcha posted up high and was able to get it down to Wilson.
Boy, Bloom is hanging right in there. They're down by only 3. Look at Fox hit the offensive boards, hold everything. There's a whistle.
Going to be another foul on Nelcha. They're going to take Fox's goal away. Number 3-5, that is Nelcha.
You know, he didn't have any fouls at halftime, Jim. Not a 1, and all of a sudden he's got 3.
Fox is working hard on him in there and really making Nelcha stand up and play some D, and it's taking the toll on him.
Troy Daniel has checked in. Didn't take him long. There he is with a ball, a shot, and a miss. Rebound, Conley.
A lot of crowd comment here. Coach Conley dragged his foot after he crossed the 10-second line.
Stepanski and Fox hammers the boards. John Fox more active on the boards. And look at Bradfield at the other end with a layup.
Great throw by Fox. Fed him the length of the court. Bradfield was like the lonesome end down there, all by himself.
54-49, the Marauders still in the man-to-man. 16 minutes left in the Eastern Championship from Millersville.
Good defense by Marshall. Bats away the pass by Stepanski.
Hey, speaking of good D, let's give the Blooms some credit. They have just shut Andrew Marshall down after that torrid start. Andrew still locked at 13. He's had 13 points, it seems like forever.
Daniel again rejects the inbound pass.
The crowd really getting into it as Wilson turns, misses, and Daniel and his teammate Clay collide, and the rebound goes out of bounds.
You saw it right there. Neither player knew the other one was in the area.
Right to the hole. He had an open lane, did John Williams, and he laid it in. It's
Beat
again
Bradfield on the inbound pass, and nobody picked up.
Three-point ball game, 54-51. Fox is tough down low, but it will not go. Melcha with another rebound. John Fox has one field goal in the game, Doc, and that was early.
He's missing that 6-footer that he has owned in the past.
Good D by Bradfield. He has really been the key Marauder, I think, in the past 8 minutes of play.
Conley being very active away from the ball. He's working against Daniel. He wants an alley-oop up there.
The crowd is serenading Bloomsburg by saying this offensive style is boring. But Coach Chronister knows. Look at that D. The Marauders have it and they're running. Look at Bradfield.
Did you see the way he caught that ball, turning around blind? What an outstanding play.
Just to catch the ball and keep from traveling and then lay it in was an outstanding athletic effort by Bobby Bradfield, and the Marauders are back up by 5. Three-pointer, yes, for John Williams. And the Bloomsburg Huskies just keep on coming. Well, that's a mistake on the scoreboard. It should be a 2-point game. I'm sure he held up his two arms. I think the scoreboard is wrong, Jim. Clay finally gets a field goal. It is 58-54. The PA man just said so, but the scoreboard is 1 point off. A 4-point Marauder lead. Now they've got it, 58-54. Bloom can cut it to 2.
Stepanski trying to feed Williams down deep, working against Bradfield. Gets the ball, batted out of bounds by Millersville. It'll be Bloomsburg's ball, but Ville is being very disruptive in their defense.
Tommy Gaines is back in the lineup, as is Claude Hughes, and now it's a small, quick Millersville team. Clay and Gaines at 6'6" are joined by 6'2" Daniel, 6'1" Bradfield, and the 6'3" Hughes.
Well, Coach Charlie Chronister really forced that move because he took out his 6'10" Wilson, so right away Millersville took out Fox.
Gaines, jump hook. It's touched above the circle. Bloomsburg has it, and I think Daniel will be whistled for foul number 3.
Dave Carpenter, the 6'5" freshman, has reappeared for Bloom. He had gone out with 3 fouls. Now back in playing. Millersville with full court pressure.
Bloom down by only 4. The Marauders working hard tonight. This is not an easy one. Bloom is the last team. There's a travel.
Gotta be. Boy, I didn't hear the whistle, but I saw.
That's all right. I can't hear you half the time.
Yeah. I saw the violation and I heard the crowd, but I didn't hear the whistle.
It is very loud here tonight at Millersville. It is packed, and these fans want this Eastern title. Bad pass. Turnover, Marauders. Again, the Huskies can cut it to 2 or maybe 1, but that one won't go.
Amos Clay does a great job boxing out Nelcha. Grabs the rebound.
Got to get more of that from Clay, and he's playing better here in the second half. Low post to Gaines. Quickly, the Huskies collapse whenever the ball goes to the low post, and Marauders kick it back out. Here's Daniel, and look at Gaines. Follow it in with emphasis.
Tommy Gain on a stuffed rebound. Looked like that ball had a chance to go through his second time down anyway, but Gain forced it through.
60-54, the Marauders want to get Andrew Marshall back in the lineup. Look at that move by Williams. Does it roll in? No. Oh, a foul on Williams as he had his hands on Gaines on the rebound.
Williams missed the shot. Gaines had the rebound. Frustration. Williams reaches in. Hammers Gaines. Going to be a timeout called here by the Huskies. So with 12:07 to play, it's Millersville 60, Bloomsburg 54. There's the whistle, ready to play ball. Bloomsburg calling a timeout, falling behind by 6. Attempting to get back in this game. There could be a change in defense. They have come out in man-to-man at the beginning of this half. They may be going back to that 1-3-1, which was so effective for them in the first half. Millersville, meanwhile, with a small club on the floor. Gaines and Clay, Marshall, Hughes, Daniel.
Just handed a note, Jim, that the Marauders are shooting 4 for 16 to open this second half. And even I can figure out that's only 25%.
That's right.
And yet the Huskies down by 6.
And they come out in that 1-3-1, do they not, Bill?
Let's look and see. It appears to be some kind of zone. I guess it is. Look at that back door. Missing Gaines, but the Marauders have it. Clay, yes.
What an outstanding play by Tommy Gaines. He couldn't grab the ball and make the shot, but he broke it loose. In effect, he caused a turnover down there.
This equals Millersville's largest lead, and it has been a long time since they enjoyed an 8-point lead early in the first half. 11:20 to go in the game. The Marauders 62, the Huskies 54. Williams again, he's hot. John Williams now, Jim, with 16 points. He's the leading scorer in the ball game for both teams.
He's doing a good job driving. He's getting the alley, and he's attacking it quick and making the most of it. Another bad cross-court pass. Turnover, the Ville.
Well, the Marauders, as soon as it appears that they're going to get a little breathing room between themselves and the Huskies, before you know it, they let Bloom right back in with mistakes. Nice turnaround jumper by Dave Carpenter. And it's all of a sudden 62-58.
Carpenter playing very well and playing under control in this appearance. In the first half, he just appeared to be a bit out of control.
Hughes, nice pass to Gaines. What a pass.
Beautiful pass. Great assist.
64-58, 10 minutes, 10 seconds left in the game as Bloom tries to upset Millersville, and they may do it with shots like that, but it's a little strong. The Marauders 3-on-2 break. Clay loses it. He's got it back, and he's got a layup.
Okay, when you start getting loose balls like that, looks like momentum is beginning to smile upon you.
Remember, Millersville averages 95 points a game here at Fusillo, and they have yet to lose in 87. Williams. Wow. 18 for John Williams, only a freshman.
He averages just 10, so he is having an outstanding night.
Hughes. Here's Marshall. He sure has cooled off, thanks to some good Bloom D. Daniel? No. And a rebound for Carpenter.
Wouldn't go down. Great pass by Marshall to get Daniel open.
Conley misses. And Millersville's running. Nice pass to Daniel.
Hughes, great feed coming down the left side. This is the Millersville game, and it came off of a Conley missed shot where he had nobody under the basket to rebound.
68-60. The Marauders back with that 8-point lead again. Nice move by Bill Conley and a good bank shot. As Conley, the Huskies' leading scorer, now we're getting a little...
Officials timeout. Looks like Amos Clay and Alex Nelcher aren't too pleased with each other.
Referee.
Referee's trying to get them together. Nelcher's looking at the crowd on one side and Clay's looking straight ahead. He says, "Come on, boys, play basketball." And they both have their own private comments, which they'll keep to themselves. Wilson replaces Conley. That surprises me.
Jim Amos Clay was the PSAC Eastern Division Player of the Week last week, and I think Amos was embarrassed in the first half, and he is playing very, very well here. Nelcha had an outstanding first half, and Clay is taking it to him. Here's Marshall. No. Rebound Carpenter. Let's watch the two 6'6" players. Look at Marshall hustle and steal the ball.
Bounced it off the referee. Oh, my. Hughes had a 1-on-3 going there, Bill. That shot had to go down or it would have been very unwise.
Only a 2-pointer for Hughes. Here's Nelcha. Wait a minute, and they get Amos Clay. Amos Clay commits the foul, only his second.
Blocking foul.
Nelcha raises his fist after the foul on Clay. So
in celebration, not in hostility.
Oh yes, in celebration.
John Fox coming in along with Bradfield, Andrew Marshall, Tommy Gaines sitting down.
Marauders still up by 8. Nice jumper as Carpenter is coming alive, and he hits his second straight bucket.
Screening off the Millersville defense, Carpenter had all night to shoot that ball.
Only a 6-point ball game. Here's Daniel. He's got to warm up, and there's one.
Just a 2. He had driven inside the 3-point line.
72-64. Marauders by only 8. With a 3-point line out there, that's not enough. Wilson, 7.5 minutes left in the game. Nice lob to Carpenter. He's hot. He won't get that one to go, but there's Nelcha.
Alex Nelcha playing the game of his life, seemingly, Bill.
19 for the 6'6" sophomore. Here's Daniel. Same spot, same result.
Again, just a 2-pointer, but he is certainly warming up on that far side.
74-66. Look at his position by Wilson. And he just goes over top of Clay. Mismatch down low.
Yeah, Clay has to give away too much to Wilson.
Hughes, Daniel. He's got it to Fox, and Fox can't get it to go. Uh-oh. John comes over the top, and that's a pretty obvious foul. Number 4.
John just put that ball up there too hard. He's putting it up on the glass too hard and coming off. Just not getting it down tonight. Tommy Gaines checks into the middle for Foxy.
Well, let's make a note. That happened with 6:42 left in the game. Fox goes out with 4. Gaines is back, and we'll see if it makes a difference. The Huskies could cut it to 4 here. This is Carpenter. He's been hot. This one won't go. It's broken loose. Ooh, and it's the Huskies' ball.
Gaines was inside of Nelcha. Good position by Tommy Gaines, but he punched it out of bounds.
Lob to Nelcha. He knocks Hughes down. Wait a minute, says the official. Offensive foul on Nelcha. He's got 4.
Yeah, he popped Amos Clay a pretty good shot there.
And now we'll see if Coach Chronister takes out his talented sophomore. Nelcha may have to go to the bench with 4. Couldn't get the man in time.
Bill Conley, I'm sorry, will be the replacement for Nelcha when there is a break in the action. 1-3-1 by the Huskies.
Hughes. 6 minutes left in the game. Clay puts it on the floor. Nice dish off. Oh, missed layup by Gaines. Look at Williams at the other end, missing the layup under pressure. Millersville's running. Look out. Daniel, two-pointer, they say. It's short. Well, play getting a little ragged and nothing resolving at all. It's still 74-68. Three on two on the steal. Tommy Gaines.
Nice pass by Hughes. Play was ragged down here, but Millersville fortunately came away with the loose ball, avoided a violation such as walking, etc., and was able to get it down.
Well, you can see that as soon as the momentum starts to swing, the Huskies slow it down. This time they miss. Here comes Hughes in a hurry. The afterburners are on.
Bradfield wants to slow it down.
And now there's a whistle as John Cochan calls timeout to slow everything down with exactly 5 minutes left in the game. Millersville leading Bloomsburg 76-68.
There's the buzzer to resume play, but that time as Claude Hughes came down the floor on the dead run, Bobby Bradfield was standing there waving his hands to slow it down, slow it down. I don't think Hughes saw him, but Coach Chan took matters in his own hands and called a timeout. I'm sure you will see Millersville enter into a more deliberate style of play. There's 5 minutes left to play here. Marauders have 38 seconds on the shot clock at this point. I think you're going to begin to see the Marauders use the shot clock to their advantage, being up 8 points.
Jim Andrew Marshall has been totally shut down since early in the ball game, and John Fox is on the bench in foul trouble. Here's Hughes. So much for the shot clock, huh? As he misses a three-pointer, and Carpenter has the rebound. I don't think Millersville, there's a foul on Bradfield. Bobby reached in, got a piece of the ball, but a piece of Conley as well.
Conley's an expert at that fake shot, fake and lean in, and he got underneath Bradfield that time, got Bradfield off his feet. Here comes Fox coming back in for Tommy Gaines. 4 fouls in all. It's no tomorrow. The big guy's back.
And Marshall is back. So John Cochan wisely getting his 2 senior co-captains, the 2 guys that want this game the most. They've been through a lot of frustration in the PSAC playoffs, and he wants them in there for the final run.
Conley hits the first one. How many points is he up to, Bill? Just 11. He's the Huskies' leading scorer on the season. Amos Clay with the rebound of the missed Conley foul.
76-69. The Marauders by only 7.
Bradfield now going to pull the Huskies out of that zone defense.
That's exactly what they're going to do.
And it's the Huskies' responsibility to come out and reply to that strategy. They are behind.
Coach Cronister is shouting instructions. The Marauders want them out of that 1-3-1, so you can, that pretty much answers it for us that the 1-3-1 has really bothered Millersville. They want them out of there. Here's Clay. Strong, back to air ball. And the Huskies can cut this thing to 5.
Now, it's one thing to be deliberate, but they do have to hit at the end of that 45-second period.
Wilson trying to get number 5 on
that was
Fox.
a travel. Got away with it.
3-point shot by Conley won't go. Rebound, Marshall.
No foul call on Carpenter.
Stops, throws up kind of a wild one, misses. Here's Clay, stripped from behind, but hits the end line. That was a good defensive play by Wilson. Unfortunately for the Huskies, it hit the end line, and it's still the Marauders' ball.
Yes, indeed. That's kind of turnabout. Badly missed foul down here. missed violation.
76-69, 3.5 minutes left, and here are the Marauders again. If they can't run, you can see the strategy is, hey, run when you can, but if you can't, pull it back and use up the clock. 30 seconds left in the time clock. 76-69. And in the game clock, coming up on 3 minutes left in the game, Daniel Pops can't get it to go. Rebound Fox, and there's a foul. Who's it on?
Going to be on Wilson, attacking Fox from the rear.
Only 2 on Wilson.
John Fox has made his greatest scoring impact from the foul line, and so he'll get a 1-and-1 opportunity right now.
Well, not before there's a timeout. This time it's Coach Bronister who wants to talk over his strategy against this spread offense that Millersville has all of a sudden employed. So we'll take timeout for a message with 3:05 left, and the Marauders leading by 7. Bloomsburg cheerleaders. You know, I was almost going to say there's a look at the Husky cheerleaders, but that just doesn't sound right.
We're going to see the Huskies pretty soon. I would suspect that they're going to come out in a light man-to-man defense to combat Millersville's stalling tactics.
I think the Marauders hope they do that.
I'm sure they do. They have not been able to dent that 1-3-1 zone very successfully this evening.
35, Nelfer back in the lineup. Bloomsburg.
Well, the Marauders will go with Bradfield, Fox, Daniel, Clay, and Marshall. For the Huskies, Joe Stepanski. Alex Nelcha is back in. John Williams, the freshman, what a night he's having. Conley and Carpenter.
John Fox hits from the foul line.
That gives John 6 points on the night, and I think that's the one he needed to move ahead of Johnny Parker. However, I'm sure that's the last thing on his mind right now. And he's got 7.
By Fox, 78-69, Marauders.
Millersville by 9. 3 minutes left exactly.
Andrew Marshall playing the ball very aggressively. Now they're going to double. Aha.
Stepanski. Jim, that's his first bucket since early when he hit a 3-pointer.
Well, Marshall was playing Stepanski. Then when he dumped off to Conley, Marshall went over and doubled Conley and left Stepanski wide open down the paint.
2 minutes, 35 seconds left. Millersville by 7. Fox down low, baseline turnaround, yeah!
The Huskies have come out in a man-to-man defense, and that time when Foxy turned around, he was only had to play against one man. He wasn't being double and tripled like he was on the zone.
Millersville is mighty happy about the man, and that's what a lead late in the game will do.
Boy, I'll tell you, some picks down here are resembling Division II blocks in football.
A foul on the rebound. Carpenter commits his 4th.
Carpenter's played a long time with 3 fouls. He's done a good job of staying out of trouble, but it's not going to make any difference in his participation. He's staying in there right now with 2 minutes and 6 seconds to go.
Believe it or not, Millersville still has a foul to give, while the Huskies have been over the limit for quite some time. Here's
Fox coming alive here in the late going.
Isn't it interesting how the senior co-captain, who wants this so much, is in the center of all the action here in the last minute. Fox all of a sudden hits double figures. He was kind of sticking at 4 points for the longest time. Marshall.
Fox, 81-71, Marauders.
Now there's a new shot clock with 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Bobby Bradfield calls timeout. While he was getting the officials' attention, he was attacked by Stepanski, but the timeout is called. Coach John Cochan leading by 10 with 2 minutes to play. Nervous. This is a little tighter basketball game than they have been accustomed to seeing this season. And Coach John Cochan must be a little bit nervous, too. Kind of an unusual timeout. Nothing particularly going wrong with the Millersville attack at this time. Up by 10 points, but nevertheless, some point that he wanted to instill in his Marauders.
Exactly 2 minutes left in the game. Millersville in control. They've got the ball. They've got the 10-point lead. And you can bet they're going to use that shot clock unless they have an open lane to the bucket. They have really spread it out. Here's Marshall.
And look for Marshall to get that lane. He's playing on Carpenter, who has 4 fouls.
Shot clock is down to 15. Here's Bradfield going up to the basket. Contact! Who tapped that in? Fox, I believe.
Fox. John Fox with a big tap. That could have been the nail in the coffin, Bill, as we're down at the minute-and-a-half mark.
Right below us, Charlie Chronister is livid. He is really giving it to the official as he felt there was an offensive foul at that end. Here's Millersville's largest lead at 12 with only a minute 20 left. The Huskies need a bucket, and they need it right now. Stolen by Daniel. That could be it with a minute 15 left. Let's see.
Double teaming out front.
A minute and 5 seconds left. Marauders by 12. This crowd is going absolutely wild as they see the Eastern Championship now within their grasp. Marshall. Shot clock down to 15. 46 seconds left in the game. Marshall spins, throws it away.
Figured he had Fox down on the baseline, but Foxy was going for the rebound. Coach Shan wants his Marauders to pick up Bloom in the backcourt to slow down their approach with the ball, but they don't hear his instruction.
Nelcha, wait, whistle. Foul on Clay before the shot, and that won't even be a 1-and-1.
That's right.
Very wise foul by Amos Clay. Here's Hughes back in the lineup for Clay. And let's give Amos Clay some credit. He had a rotten first half, but he has chipped in with 10 points here in the second half to help fuel this Marauder victory.
Okay, Bloomsburg lining up along the foul line, and so is Millersville. But they're not in the penalty situation yet.
They couldn't believe it, that's all.
Right, this late in the game, and you can hear the crowd. Goodbye.
Well, Bloom has just brought in a new face, and we'll mention him for you. Dallas Wilson, a freshman out of New York, as they steal the ball. There's a foul on Daniel, who can't believe it.
Oh, my. Well, hey, it's a good foul because if the whistle doesn't blow, Nelcha has the ball for uncontested stuff.
Stepanski will go to the line to shoot 2.
Troy Daniels' 4th foul. 28 seconds, this game is over. The Ville goes to the finals. Stepanski hands the first one.
Saturday night, cable TV will be here live to bring you the PSAC Championship. Live on 22 between the Marauders and the winner of the Lock Haven, California game. Stepanski got them both, and boy, oh boy, he just about mugged Hughes and the official. And for Joe, his 4th. Got to give the junior credit, though. He's not quitting. 24 seconds left. He's all over the floor.
You know, peering at your scorebook, Bill, I think the tide turned in this game when Millersville began to aggressively defense the paint against the Huskies. Alex Nelcha, 15 points in the first half, has just 4 in the second half. Well, there goes Andrew Marshall going out of the game, and he got a big, big hand. He's going to be back here Saturday night along with Bill Arnold and yours truly, Jim Doherty, to bring you that state championship game as Hughes makes the first foul shot.
And now John Fox goes out to a roaring applause. He has a dozen. Hughes hits both of them. You want to talk about a balanced scoring effort? We'll tell you about the balanced scoring effort after the game, as Millersville's lead is still at 12, 85-73.
Jason Jones now in the lineup for Millersville. a freshman from Pottstown. Stepanski tries a three-point attempt. No good.
Here comes Jones. He's going to try to get one. Nice pass, though, by Jones. And Tommy Gaines puts one in. Wait till you hear this balanced scoring. There's about 7 Marauders in double figures. Rebound, Nelcha, stripped away. 1 second left. 1 second left. Somebody's going to have to inbound the ball.
It's going to be Millersville's ball. Whoa, wait a minute, Charlie Cronister.
Everybody's on the floor, but we've got a second to play yet.
That's
Hold
right.
everything. The fans.
Jason Jones trying to get his hand on the ball.
Here we go. Now it's over. And the Marauders win the Eastern title 87-73. But I'll tell you something, that 14-point final is not indicative of just how good this game was. We'll be back to tell you all about it and tell you about what's coming up on Cable 22 right after this timeout.
Lancaster Dodge, the red-hot dealer, delivers with sizzling deals on the hottest cars. Introducing Shadow, a whole new breed of car.
A 6. Running game going, several fast breaks, several stuffs, and the Ville is able to hold on to a 14-point victory. In fact, win going away, and will consequently be back here Saturday night for the final, Bill.
Yeah, we just put that together today, and we're very happy to be able to bring it to you. We can guarantee you it will be the final Cable 22 broadcast of the year, but we're happy to have one more big one, the State PSAC Championship, Saturday night right here at Fusillo and right here on Cable 22 Live. We understand that Lock Haven, am I correct, was winning that game out in the West at halftime, but of course that was only at halftime over California.
That was a very low-scoring game. Sports Information Director flashed it in front of me. I think it was something like 36-33 at the half in that game. Well, with some of the scoring for this game, for the Huskies of Bloomsburg, the young Huskies, who are going to be a force to be reckoned with in years to come.